Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I am so excited because I have the new Nomad Provence palette. I am so excited ever since they started releasing their sneak peeks of the shades with the clues to kind of guess the destination of the palette. I have been in love. The shades that they were releasing were just so pretty, and I'm so excited to have this palette in my collection and to test it out for you all today. So I will be doing some swatches and I will be doing 2 looks with this palette, so it is going to be a little bit of a longer video, so be sure to settle in and we can get started. So first up, this packaging is so cute. It has little raised parts to it with the flowers, the scarf, and it's all just so pretty, and the colors of it are just gorgeous, of course. And then you open it up and you get the 15 beautiful shades. So this color story just really spoke to me. I am in love with what it looks like. It's super wearable but also colorful. It's really unique, and I just really think it is a gorgeous color story. Nomad always does such a good job of curating their color stories, and I'm just so excited to test this one out today. So we will just jump straight into some swatches. Alright, so first up we have this shade. This is Rosé, and it is a nice light matte pink shade. Very vibrant. I am not really going to try and say the names of these shades, but next up we have this more corally matte shade. It is so pretty. They are taking a few layers to build up, but honestly I find that to be the case with most matte shades, so it's not a huge deal to me. We have this pale yellow with an adorable flower imprint in it. Super pretty. Alright, then we have this light lavender shade. And these shades all feel very soft to the touch, which is really nice. And the pigmentation is actually pretty nice on these swatches. Alright, now we have this kind of dusty gray blue shade. I am very drawn to this color. I think it looks really pretty. Alright, now we move into the row of shimmers. So we have this light pink shade. It has some blue and purple in it as well. It's super pretty, not the most opaque, but it's still a really stunning shade. And then we have this orangey shade. That is beautiful. Alright, I feel like this shade is the one that everyone is the most excited for. It is like a yellow to green shifting shade. It looks absolutely stunning. Alright, now we have this dark purple. All of these shimmers have some really nice dimension to them. They're not just the plain color, they have different shades sprinkled in there in the sparkles. That's really pretty. Alright, then another one of the shades I'm really drawn to. These blues are just speaking to me. So pretty, so pretty. Alright, now on to this final row. Ooh, that looks like a nice shade. A little messy with the swatch there. Oops. But very pretty. The imprints in these shades are just so cute. I'm really loving it. we have this kind of honey yellow shade with an adorable little bee in it. Alright, then this dark purple. This one is taking some building as well, but it looks like a nice shade. And then this dark matte shade over here looks really nice. So here are all of the shades swatched out. This is such a beautiful color story. There is so much that you can do with it. And I really like that it's split up into these rows. It just kind of makes more sense in my mind and is pleasing to look at. So I am incredibly excited about testing this palette out. So we will just jump into my two looks. Alright, so for my first look, I want to focus on these more cool tones over here because that is what I'm feeling drawn to right now. So I'm going to start with this light lavender shade. Definitely not trying to pronounce the names. But I'm taking this just on a super fluffy brush. And I'm going to just start trying to build this one up in my crease and see how that works. Since it is on a fluffier brush, I'm not expecting a whole lot of pigment, but there's definitely some showing up there, which is nice. But I just want to use this one as kind of the base for my look. And I really love purple shades, so I'm really hoping this one turns out nicely. You can see it showing up there. I feel like if I used more of a packing brush, it would probably show up even more, but obviously this is a very fluffy brush and I'm just trying to kind of diffuse the color through the crease. So it's not going to be top pigment, but it's still really nice. Alright, next I want to take the shade that is right next to it. And this is a light bluish gray shade. And I'm going to focus this one lower in the crease and just blend these two together. And I am sort of winging it out a little bit in the outer corner. Not fully and not too precise, but just kind of dragging the color out ever so slightly in the outer corner. My only experience with Nomad shadows so far has been the America's Parks palette, and I have been loving that palette lately. I have barely put it down, and I'm so happy to have another one of their palettes in my collection. They always just do the most beautiful color stories, very unique, and I just think the whole brand, all of their shades, their packaging, everything just comes together so beautifully, and I just love it. I have so many of their palettes that are on my wish list still. I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of the purple shade. I have so many palettes of theirs that are on my wish list, but I haven't picked any more up yet, but I really want to. All right, next I want to take the darker purple. And I like what these ones are looking like so far, so I want to start adding in some depth. So once again, just going lower in the crease and getting progressively smaller brushes. This one is a little bit more of a packing brush as well, but I want to just focus this pigment kind of directly into the crease, just continue to deepen this look. And I'm bringing it slightly onto the lid, and once again, just dragging it out so that we can kind of deepen up this outer area if possible. This one isn't super pigmented to start, but I'm hoping it will build up nicely and we can get a good look here. Okay, I'm not sure if it's just me, but it's like not sticking to a certain part of my crease, which is a little annoying. I don't know if it's just the concealer that I put down and I didn't set it, but usually I never set my concealer after I put it down and start my eye look. So I'm not really sure what is going on at the moment, but I'm gonna just keep going along with this look and let's see what happens. So next I want to take this dark charcoaly gray matte shade. It's not a full black shade, but it's just a dark matte. Okay. That was really pigmented. Not expecting that. Okay, this one's sticking. I think this one might save this look even. So I just winged it out slightly, you can see there. And I'm gonna just drag it lightly through the rest of my crease. Wow, that was a lot more pigmented than I expected it to be. I'm gonna go back in with just a touch more of that blue shade and just run it ever so slightly along the edges because I don't want this one to be dulled out too much. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of the light purple and just run it right along the edges of everything, onto the lower lash line a little too, like so. Okay, now I want to take this bluish shimmer over here. So I am going to try the shade on a brush, but I am going to wet my brush a little bit. And we will see how it performs. And if I need to go in with my finger at all. So far it is very pretty though. Oh, when that light hits it, that is so pretty. It doesn't fully seem to be picking up on the brush, but it's obviously placing on the lid, so that's working very nicely. But when I pick it up and I look at my brush, I guess you can see the product. It just didn't really seem like it was going to be super impactful. But I stand corrected. I feel like I've heard people say that Nomad shimmers aren't like the most metallic or wet looking, but I may have to disagree. Because this shade looks stunning. I am just going to take a little bit on my finger and just lightly tap over to make sure we got everything. Oh, that is stunning. All right, just to use one more shade, I'm going to go in with the dark purple shimmer and tap this right where the outer corner meets the shimmer, just to get another little transition shade in there. Those shades together look really pretty. I like the hint of purple that gives. And then I'm going to go back in with the dark matte shade and just run over these edges so everything gets blended. All right, then finally I want to take this light pink shimmer, and this will be for my inner corner. Super cute. I was a little worried this palette wasn't gonna have a inner corner highlight, but This one looks really pretty once you build it up. So that is going to do it for this look. I'm going to go add some mascara and I will be right back. All right, here is the final look. And for this look, I used my Physicians Formula Butter Blowout Mascara. So for the palette as a whole so far, I am really liking it, but I will say I was a little disappointed in the matte shades, especially that darker purple shade. I am in no way discounting it yet. I definitely need to test it out some more. This was obviously just the first time I've used it. So I will be testing this out some more because I have seen other creators use this shade and it turns out really nicely. So I'm assuming it's just the base I had down, something like that. So I am definitely still excited about this palette. I think this look did come together really nicely. I love the shimmer on the lid. I think it's super pretty. So this is definitely a palette that I am still very excited about. I'm so happy I was able to purchase this. And yeah, we can jump into the second look where I will be using more of the warm tone shades. All right, for look number 2, I want to start out with this macaroon shade. One of the only shades in this palette that I can actually say the name of. And I'm taking this on a very small fluffy brush. And I'm going to start packing this on my outer corner. And I'm also going to be doing the same thing in my inner corner. I want to do a bit of a halo eye today. So I just kind of want to start building this color up first. And then I will start blending it. And I'm going to connect it up in the crease. Like so. I don't do halo eyes super often, but I do enjoy them. I also think the shade is packing down really nicely so far, which is always good. I just washed my brushes yesterday for the first time in a very long time, and it feels really nice to have just a nice set of clean brushes because it's been a while. So there is what that shade is looking like. I'm going to leave it a little bit messy because we're going to blend it out with other shades anyway. All right, now I'm going to take this pinkish shade right next to that other shade. And I'm just going to pick this up slightly on my brush. I don't want this one to get too pigmented because there isn't much depth difference between these two. And as we get higher up in the crease, I want to blend it out with lighter and lighter shades. But I just want to start small for right now. This is adding just a nice little pinky color to this look. But like I said, I don't want to go too heavy with this one. All right, then I'm going to take this more corally matte shade up on top here. And I'm getting slightly fluffier brushes each time. And we're just going to blend right along the top. I wanted to do kind of a sunset sort of look with this. But these shades are blending pretty nicely together. I am happy with how this is looking. It's not really taking much effort at all to blend these shades, which is really nice. And I think it's looking nice. All right, now I want to take some of this light yellow shade here. And I'm hoping this adds in a little bit more of that sunset look. Just right along the edges. The shade isn't super pigmented, especially blended with these other shades. But I feel like it's making a little bit more of an orangey tone, which is what I would expect from mixing yellow and pink together. So once I have all of these kind of blended together, I'm going to go just back and forth with each of the shades to make sure we get a good amount of pigmentation for each of them. Alright, I want to try and take this shade for the center of the lid. So I'm going to just pick it up on my brush and then wet my brush a bit with it. And I'm going to see how this goes, and I might go back over it with my finger. But I prefer if a shimmer will just pack down on a brush, even if I do have to wet the brush. And it is looking stunning. These shimmers are seriously impressing me. Just look at that. Oh, gorgeous. So I'm just focusing this one right in the center of my lid. And then I will go back over the edges of the shade to blend it with the matte that we used. Alright, then for the lower lash line, I want to take a little bit more of this corally shade. Just run that right along the lower lash line. I don't like to make my lower lash lines too pigmented most of the time, so I'm just going to go very light. Then on that same brush, I'm going to pick up Rosé, which is just the lighter kind of babyish pink shade, and blend right underneath it. Like so. I was debating between these two shades for my inner corner. I kind of want to try this one because I haven't used it, but I feel like this one will look better. So I might save this shade for another look in the future and pick up some of this shade over here. Just because I think this one's gonna look better in the inner corner. It's such a pretty shade. I think that is going to do it for this look. I will go add some mascara and be right back. Alright, here is the final look. And once again, I use this Physicians Formula mascara. I am in love with this look. I think it turned out so beautifully. I was definitely more excited about the idea of the first look, but I think this one's my favorite from this video. I just love how it turned out. I think the shades blended really nicely together, and that shimmer in the center of the lid is just outstanding. It's gorgeous. So I'm very, very happy with how this look turned out, and it makes me so excited to continue to use this palette. If you would like to see more on this palette from me, please do let me know, and let me know what else you would like to see from me just in general. I'm always happy to take suggestions. Let me know what you think of this palette, what you thought of the looks I created, and any suggestions you might have in terms of that. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And with all of that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye!